Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Thursday, July 20th. I'd like to call our monthly board meeting for the Guam Community College Board of Trustees to order at 12:07 p.m. And before we start doing anything, we have the pleasure of swearing in our newest board member, Yolanda Padrones. Down the center? Yeah. Okay. Please repeat after me. Raise your hand. I, Yolanda M. Padrones, do solemnly swear in the presence of Almighty God that I will well and faithfully support the Constitution of the United States, the laws of the United States applicable to Guam, and the laws of Guam, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my duties as a member of the Guam Community College Board of Trustees. Pursuant to 6 GCA 4308, I declare that the foregoing is true and correct. Executed at the Guam Community College on July 20th. You are now officially a member of the board. Thank you.
Up to the chair.
Want to do it now or after? The photo?
Up to you.
We can do it after in case Frank comes. Never sign first. Blank. Can we please get roll call?
Frank Ariola, Carlo Leon Guerrero,
Here.
Richard Sablan, off island, Rose Greeno,
Here.
Gina Ramos, off island, Yolanda Padrones,
Here.
Candy Maguli,
Here.
we have a quorum, Dr. Mario Pata,
Here.
Kenneth Bautista,
Here.
Simone Bollinger, Attorney Rala Montanone,
Here.
that's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please work with me to recite the mission statement. Guam Community College is a leader in career and technical workforce development, providing the highest quality student-centered education and job training for Micronesia. Okay, in front of you, you should have the minutes from the past meeting. If there's no changes, please review and we'll consent to accept the minutes as they are. If there are no changes, can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
I can make a motion to accept meeting for May 11 minutes.
I second.
Okay, thank you. Any communications?
There is no communications to share,
Thank you. Any public discussion?
no request for public discussion.
Okay. Moving on to the president's report.
So to start off with the President's report, I'd like to ask our Vice President for Academic Affairs to begin with the update on the accreditation brief. And I believe she will be co-presented with Dean Pilar-Williams. And so what we're going to do is have the accreditation as a standing item as part of the President's report from now until the accreditation ICER has been submitted. Just so that the board is aware of the different activities involved associated with accreditation. And so today's briefing is just going to be an overview.
Okay. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. If I stand, you can't, right? So,
You just drink.
good morning.
So good morning.
Good
Half a day.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for that. My name is Gina Tudela, and I'm the Vice President for Academic Affairs at GCC, and I'm also the Accreditation Liaison Officer. And co-presenting with me this morning is Ms. Pilar-Williams, who's the Dean of the School of Trades and Professional Service, as well as the Assistant Accreditation Liaison Officer for GCC. So thank you for providing us with an opportunity to share some information regarding accreditation. The last time GCC was evaluated, it was in academic year 2017-2018. And since then, there has been some changes to the accreditation standards as well as to the accreditation review process. So what we wanted to do is provide some information regarding what accreditation is, why it's important, what are the new standards, and what are the changes to the evaluation process.
So what is accreditation and why is it important? Accreditation is a practice of academic quality control, and we're taking a look at three different things. First thing is, how do we promote institutional excellence by ensuring that we apply the standards for accreditation? The next one is, how do we advance meaningful and effective student learning and achievement? And the next is, how do we provide assurance to students, the general public, and others of the quality of our educational offerings? In addition, accreditation is a peer review driven process.
So post-secondary institutions that are accredited, they signal to the community that we offer quality programs. So it's really good that we maintain our accreditation status. And as far as accreditation being a peer review driven process, we're actually being reviewed by a team of our peers from other institutions accredited by the same accrediting body within the region and within California. So why do colleges seek accreditation? First of all, students who are attending GCC, because of our accredited status, can avail of student financial aid. So federal funding is available to them. Also, recognition for transfer. Basically what this means is that because we are an accredited institution, if our students take classes at GCC, complete it successfully, or complete a program at GCC, if they decide that they want to attend another post-secondary institution, there's a greater likelihood that the receiving institution will accept the credits earned here at GCC because of our accredited status. To ensure, another reason why colleges seek accreditation is to ensure institutions are aligned with their missions because their accreditation standards are mission-driven. And to improve academic quality, effectiveness, and student success. So the process of accreditation involves continuous quality improvement, and accredited institutions such as GCC go through cyclical evaluation by our accreditors to ensure quality, effectiveness, and student success.
So we need to take a look at who is ACCJC, and it is the Accrediting Commission for Community and Junior Colleges. And ACCJC presses upon the idea that everything that we do has to be outcomes driven. It has to be innovative, and it needs to be focused on continuous improvement. It is the institutional accreditor recognized by the U.S. Department of Education and the Council for Higher Education Association.
So what's different if you compare the last accreditation visit in academic year 17-18 and what's going to happen this upcoming academic year 24-25? So In this new evaluation, we're actually going to be following or assessed based on the 2024 accreditation standards, which was recently approved in June this year. The last time we were evaluated based on 126 accreditation standards. This upcoming evaluation, we will be evaluated based on 30 accreditation standards. The new standards have a greater focus on outcomes, equity, and innovation. So if you look at the standards, the word equity will keep popping up in the standards. The standards, as I mentioned before, mission focus. There's no requirement for a quality focus essay or a QFE that was required during our last evaluation. The data is incorporated into relevant responses. There's one narrative response per standard. So what these two bullet points mean is that when we develop our ISA or institutional self-evaluation report, it's going to be shorter. And because we're following the 2024 accreditation cycle, we will be reviewed based on an 8-year review cycle as opposed to what it was before, which was 7 years.
So what we'd like to do right now is just kind of give you a briefing on the 4 standards. There are 4 main groups of accreditation standards. And this standard number 1, which is mission and effectiveness, focuses on our mission, and it focuses on how does our mission relate to who we are, what we do, and how we do it. And so standard 1, the team will take a look at, does GCC have a clearly defined mission that reflects its character, values, organizational structure, and unique student population? In addition to that, the team that will visit us will also take a look at, does our mission outline our explicit commitment to equitable student achievement and serves as a guiding principle for everything that we do here, from institutional planning, action, evaluation, improvement, and again, innovation. How innovative are we?
So standard 2 focuses on student success. Basically, it looks at our academic programs, support services, student learning, and student success. So we look at 3 questions. What are we doing to support student learning? How are we doing in our support of student learning? And what improvements are needed to enhance our students' success? So what the evaluators or the review team will be looking at when they come or when they review our ISER is they want to see that in alignment with our mission, does GCC deliver high-quality academic and learning support programs that engage and support students through their unique educational journeys? They'll also be looking to see that academic and learning support programs promote equitable student success, and GCC evaluates student learning and achievement data to inform improvements and advance equitable outcomes.
Moving into standard 3. Standard 3 takes a look at how our infrastructure, our personnel, our finances, resources, including technology, into relation to student success and planning. So the team will take a look at how do we support our educational services and operational functions with effective infrastructure, qualified personnel, and stable finances. In addition, the team will also take a look at how do we organize our staff and how do we allocate physical, technological, and financial resources to improve our overall effectiveness and again, promote equitable student success. In addition, the team will need to take a look at how do we actively monitor and assess resource capacity to inform improvements to infrastructure and ensure long-term health and stability of this institution. If we're on 46 years, we need to go another 46 years.
So standard 4 relates to governance and decision-making, and basically what it does is, what we need to focus on is decision-making processes and structures and the involvement of our governing board to ensure quality and stability of the college. This is where a lot of the work that you guys do is found under standard 4. So what the evaluating team will be looking at is to ensure that GCC engages in clear and effective governance practices that support the achievement of its mission, and that governance roles and responsibilities are delineated in widely distributed policies, and that institutional decision-making processes provide opportunities for meaningful participation and inclusion of relevant stakeholders.
We went through all the standards with you right now. It's kind of amazing. We were
4
only
main
given
standards. So in your handouts, you'll see there's some slides for the required documentation for your reference, but we didn't. We just want to include it so that you can take a look at it. So the ACC-JC evaluation process involves two parts: GCC's evaluation of itself, or its self-reflection, and ACC-JC's evaluation of the college. So the evaluation consists of formative, summative, comprehensive peer review. Formative assessment focuses on improvement. Summative assessment focuses on accountability. And the example that I'd like to use so that people understand the difference between formative and summative assessment is a chef that's cooking soup, right?
She's only doing that because it's noon and we're all hungry.
And we're hungry. So when a chef prepares soup, right, they want to make sure that the ingredients that they use for the soup is high quality. They also want to test the soup to make sure that, you know, if they need to add another ingredient, that they do that, right? That's formative assessment. That's a self-reflection that GCC will be looking at. What are we doing as an institution? How are we doing in terms of student success? And what can we do to improve student success? The summative component is when a customer tastes the soup, right? At that point, they're making a judgment call. Did the soup meet their expectation in terms of quality and taste? And the summative assessment in terms of accreditation is when our accreditors come in and say, and looks at whether or not we meet the standards, the eligibility requirements, and the commission policies.
So if we take a look at what's on the board, we're taking a look at phases. And the very first phase that we look at right now is the college self-reflection, which is the ICER. It's the institutional self-evaluation report that we are already preparing. And that is due August 1st, 2024. The ICER is the foundation for the accreditation process. In this ICER that we create, we identify our strengths, we identify our opportunities for improvement and innovation in relation to the standards and our mission, always tying into the mission. The college has 4 standards committees of faculty, staff, students, administrators, and board members. And members of the standards committee will write the ICER with input from all levels of our college stakeholders. We are currently compiling required documents for our ICER, as well as additional evidence that the standards committee can use and they can use in order to write the ICER. And since the ICER is due in August, we need to have it reviewed and approved prior to the end of spring of 2024.
So the second phase of the accreditation process will occur in fall 2024, where the review team meets to review the ICER. So the ICER team is composed of our peers, like we mentioned, from other institutions that are accredited by ACC-JC. The team will meet virtually for 1 day to review the ICER, and during that time, they'll want to make sure that the information contained in our ICER actually aligns with the accreditation standards. They'll also look to ensure that we meet our eligibility requirements as well as commission policies. During the time, the team is coming up with core inquiries. So core inquiries are questions of clarification, additional questions by the team. So the core inquiries is what the team wants the college to respond to. So basically, the core inquiries after the meeting occurs will be forwarded to the college. So we receive the core inquiries. We already know what the focus is when they come to visit GCC. So what happens is it provides us time as an institution to gather additional evidence and to respond to their questions of clarification and to make any improvements in our processes before they actually step foot on our campus.
So if we take a look at the next step, which is the focus site visit. During the focus site visit, our peer review team members are on site. They're here on campus. They're here to gather information related to the core inquiries and then complete the peer review team report. The length of the focused site visit and the number of team members really is all dependent and determined by the team chair and the vice chair based on the core inquiries identified during the team ICER review. That's prior.
My turn. Okay, on June 2025, the commission will meet and review the team's report to determine action on the college's accreditation. So we actually have started working on our accreditation or working on preparing our college for accreditation since last spring. Last spring, there was a call out to the campus community to get membership to serve on the individual standards committee. So as Pilar mentioned, we had faculty, staff, administrators. We have Ken Lee and one of the standards. We have board members serving on the standards. And during last spring college assembly, we also had discussions regarding our progress on our institutional strategic master plan goals. And we shared some information regarding the upcoming accreditation evaluation, shared the timeline with them, and actually had breakout sessions with the different stakeholder groups on campus to engage in dialogue about what the standards are and what possible evidence can be used as we develop our ICER. And this upcoming, on August 14th, we will post an announcement to remind the campus community that we are on track to have the accreditation team come to our campus on spring 2025.
And we so look forward to having the board engage in this conversation and in the creation of our ICE. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so between now and then, we will continue to provide little tidbits. What is the evidence that is required? What are the institution set standards? In other words, what are we doing? What is our benchmark? What is our goalpost in terms of student achievement? And then how we measure it. So between now and the actual finalization of the ICER, we'll be giving the board information, definitions, a lot of definitions, because when they come to campus, they'll engage in dialogue with the board members as well. Okay, so moving on and continuing on my report, the financial status of the college. So as of July 12th, actually as of today, the college has received $12,755,313.48. And that relates to $12,311,000 on the general fund, $218,797.48 on the 22% general pay plan, $78,500 for the scholarship office, manpower development, $4,611,600 to support the post commission, $59,638. We've received the full allotment for capital improvement fund, which is the $200,400, and the general fund first generation trust initiative of $165,378. And this represents a total of $78,000 based on the total, 78% based on the total allotment for the college for the year. And so we continue to receive regular allotment releases from the Department of Administration to help support the institution and its efforts. In addition, there's been a lot of things happening here on campus over the past couple of months. Of course, we are reminded that Super Typhoon Maywar, of course, we were affected by the typhoon. We were able to set up the first FEMA Disaster Recovery Center here on campus. And the whole reason why we were able to do that really ties back to our sustainability efforts in collecting the rainwater and having power generation to support some of the facilities. And so the rainwater was, I guess, the key area because we needed to have running and sanitary facilities in order to support that effort. And so initially it started off as a 30-day agreement, which went to a 60-day agreement, which will now max out at 90 days. So they will continue to be here until August 28th. We've had to do a little bit of shifting in terms of classes that are held from August 16th, which starts the beginning of the academic year, into other facilities until, so that we don't have to disrupt the current setup. But we do have FEMA folks here on campus in addition to SBA. And if you look at the stats that is provided, FEMA and other federal agencies have provided millions and millions of dollars to support the recovery efforts here on Guam. And it's just, I think it's a really good feeling to know that the college has participated in this and we're able to help and reach out to a lot of folks here on Guam in that effort. At the same time that we had FEMA, or that we had FEMA here, there was a program initiated by the Bureau of Women's Affairs that actually brought school-age children here on campus for like a mini boot camp activity. And so we were able to infuse some of the literacy navigation and the early college programs to discuss with these students, you know, some of the opportunities that are available here in the college. So that is also additional for us. One is we're very fortunate that we are insured. The college has insurance, and so we are working through the insurance process, at the same time working with our FEMA process in terms of claims for the facility. There was a lot of water damage, mold remediation that has already been completed. Of course, some air conditioners that are down, and but we're going through that process. We've been actively engaged with our representative from FEMA. We have already established our projects that are going to need funding assistance, and that will be dovetailed with the insurance at the same time. So at the end of the day, that we're fortunate to be covered by insurance and then seek the additional support from FEMA to help with the additional funding requirements. A good thing for our students that are under Veterans Affairs, the college did submit the update. So every year we provide a copy of the catalog to them, and they identify the programs that are approved for VA funding. So the college catalog was submitted, and VA has approved the programs that are available for GCC programs. And so that's another really good thing. In addition, Dr. Tudela did meet with accreditation liaison officers that are participating in the Pacific Post-Secondary Education Council, PPEC. And so they are updating the articulation agreements between campuses. The draft has been already submitted to them for comments and review, and the intent is to finalize the adoption of this updated document in September. As you know, there's been a lot of discussion about cybersecurity efforts, and so the college is ramping up and determining its capability to provide additional cybersecurity needs. So there is a conference that happened this week, and additional conversations on campus and grant opportunities as to how we can increase capacity for additional programs and courses to support cybersecurity, needed both by the military, government entities, and the like. So a lot of information on cybersecurity has been surfaced.
So in line with that, do we do our own cybersecurity training for our students and faculty?
So there have been a couple of instances where we did provide some information to students. There is a component, and we'll probably address that again in the upcoming academic year, but there is a program, an outreach program that is, regular information is provided to us by the FBI. And so there are programs that are available. There's also some online information that we can also share with our students. And so I'm sure our student trustee will take that back to the COPSA officers for very specific training. We can possibly include it in the conference that the students have every semester in the student leading student conferences. So that would be also included as well. So I know he's taking note. In addition to that, the GCC through the Literacy Navigation Program launched the Guam Loves to Read initiative. And so we have a partnership with the public libraries, several libraries, and they've been providing resources and information to young adults, young students that are able to use the summertime to engage in reading. And so that's active in several of the libraries here in Guam. It is really to help students in K-12, but we also have a tutoring component as well, because students, literacy, we know, is one of the areas that need to be upgraded and elevated. And so with the funding support through the Governor's Education Stabilization Fund, we've been able to engage in that conversation. And I think this whole notion of Guam Loves to Read, which is now a signature for the college, will help us to continue providing these programs to the community. Several scholarship opportunities that are available to students, of course, through GITA's funding support. There are scholarship opportunities for students in allied health. GCC Foundation is looking for applicants to the GCC Foundation Scholarship, Kurt Moylan Foundation, and Andrea Elau Foundation as well. Many of you may have heard of our assessment software that we were using, Track That. As Dr. Ray used to always say, Track That. We have, I want to say, maybe 20 years of information about our assessment and our assessment process. So we're now migrating to a new platform. We will not transfer all of the 20 years of data into that new platform because even the vendor will tell us that we have the most information on that platform that they've ever seen. So we will scale it back and migrate some of the data, but not all 20 years of it. So it's on the new Ventive, it's on a new, what they call improved platform. So that will also be happening. GCC is a sponsor for ENA Wellfest that is coming up on July 29th. And so that is another initiative for the college in terms of wellness. And let's see, we're doing a lot of recruitment right now. So we've seen folks that are taking advantage of different opportunities on island and off island. So our HR department has been aggressively replacing and recruiting for those positions, including faculty that have relocated. And so there's some gaps in terms of our secondary programs, but we are working to fill those positions as well. We have many students here that are on campus from the Guam Summer Youth Employment. So we've been putting these students through some training, work ethic training, I guess was at the forefront, but also to help the college prepare for the academic year, assisting with the typhoon damages and resetting the college. Students are preparing recruitment notices for social media. So they're preparing information regarding that and then just helping and learning in the various departments that they are participating here on campus. And that's the report. I will go into the other construction projects towards the end.
Thank you. Any reports from the student trustee?
Since we have our new leadership, we had some leadership training at the Student Center, the training room on June 28, June 29, June 30, July 7, July 12, and July 14th. So we just discussed the plans for the upcoming academic year, and we were training the new officers on impromptu and public speaking, and we also did some team building exercises. And then on Sunday, July 2nd, was a GCC College Fair. Cops officer and myself attended, and I participated in the Macy's fashion show with Dr. Akata.
That's been fun.
And then on July 5th to the 19th, Reach for College hosted the Summer Bridge program. I worked alongside Mrs. Eleanor Mateo and varsity tutors to assist high school graduates in transitioning into college. So we assisted with the administration and registration process, getting their health clearance, GCC student ID, declaring their major and registering for classes, and also completing their financial aid applications. And we also had a guest speaker up here, Westcare. They presented on mental health and suicide. And then on Friday, July 7th, CSI and COPSA facilitated team building activities with the 40 Governors Summer Youth Employment Program interns. And then on July 19th, I attended the culinary and baking kitchen groundbreaking ceremony.
Thank you.
Can we so with our students, after the typhoon, how is our COPSA or the student able to reach out to our students that got affected? What kind of assistance that we provided them, especially for those our students that lost homes or needs an assistance? Is that something in the discussion in your group?
What we discussed during the meetings was mostly like around us and the personal level for each member, but we haven't really like reached out about like other people yet, like outside of us.
So do we know how many of our students that really, you know,
So,
like in
yeah.
a shelter or need some
So
assistance?
because the academic year had already ended before the typhoon, there was no, we didn't have any students on campus or any conversation with students regarding that. Because of the typhoon, that's the reason why we moved summer school. One, because summer school was, the enrollment was a little low, and we wanted to give the opportunity for students to, to reset based on the typhoon. We don't have any information as to whether or not any of our students are in any shelters or anything like that at this point.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the support staff have been really busy with the summer semester. It's coming to a close. We're also prepping the campus for the fall semester. We have a lot of the staff are coming in on a Saturday to give the opportunity to the community and our students to come in and register and help them through the registration process for the fall semester. We had our graduation and the ceremony was really good. We also been working to get our area set up during after the typhoon so that we can actually have the students and the community come in and do the registration. So we had set up all the needed offices down in D-Wing, one because it has a generator, and so we went through that process, and as soon as before the summer started, we actually had to move them back up to their offices where they actually had some power and water available. So yeah, it's been pretty busy for the staff. We also oh, and so like I said, we had a graduation. I attended the culinary and baking as well as the graduation itself. So those are all good. One thing I like to bring up is I know that we got the 22% of the wage adjustments. And we were with the management and HR, payroll, and IT. We were able to push the payroll out so that it actually came on time on the Friday that we knew, and they also had that 20%, which was really helpful with all the expenses that we were getting during the typhoon, and even after that, we're still seeing a lot. I think majority of our staff got their power and water back. I'm not sure there's any that are still lacking that I heard of. So that's good. So I guess I'm coming back to that point where a lot of the staff right after the storm were asking if we were going to get the back pay on the rest of the pay on the wage, the 20%, because we didn't start that until like maybe third payroll, after the law passed. And I basically told them that we need to hold on because we were in this whole typhoon thing and we need to get settled. But now they're coming back again and asking, can we move that forward? They are finding out that other agencies have paid it out already. And I said, I'll bring it back to the board, see if we can do something about that. Or at least we can get it moving. I'm not sure what we're up against right now. I just need to go back and go to the staff that where we're at with that, and when we might be able to see it.
We will address it.
Yeah, that's it.
We will address it.
I have a comment that I wanted to address, to share it back to the team. And the typhoon hour it's really like a testament in how important the support staff in order for our campus and the GCC to be able to operate or back in operations and a faster way. So the work of the support staff in maintaining the campus and all of this alongside with the faculty and the rest of the team here at GCC is really important. So I am proud to say that, as we look at, as a disclosure, we're also a board member of the American Red Cross. We work side by side with FEMA. As we look at the different buildings, GCC stands out because we are, as you said, it's very sustainable, and we were able to open up the building in no time. And I think I called you, check on you, can you be a shelter also at one point in time? And because we look at that GCC, but that is the work of our day-to-day work of Team GCC, especially the support staff and everyone here, that really, because we got tested during the typhoon, and we have proven that we can work it back. So I just want to bring it back to the team as our express of appreciation and really recognize the work that you do, and as well as everyone here. So I just make it a point. Okay.
Okay, no report from the faculty advisor. Anybody with the Board of Trustees Community Outreach Report?
So I start with, I attended the membership assembly. It is a nursing assembly that's held in Washington, D.C. As an executive director of the Guam Nurses Association, actually represent Guam along with the two other members. So I just want to share, and one of the pain points that we always discuss during the nursing assembly is it really is a nurse staffing crisis. But we actually work into this, how are we going to do in a workforce development. With that, I'm going to be sharing with you that this is, we came to the point that addressing this huge, just to give you guys an idea, by the end of the year, we're going to need about 800,000 nurses. Okay. Our nurses have increased this year. It's about 4 million last year. This is a 4 million nurses and across United States. Now, with the National Licensing Board, it's already about 5 million, but we still need more nurses. The COVID pandemic has really shifted and also hurt the nursing workforce, with about 30% is going to have to change career and going into retirement. So the message I want to do is, as a college, we have a better opportunity to look into this and how we have to look into the innovative ways to do things, and how we can work together collaboratively with the other institutions in really addressing not only the nursing but the healthcare workforce. We have done that as GCC. We produce cohort in our CNA, home health, and this time around, I think this is something for us. I kind of hint out with Dean Pilar and also with Dee that I'm gonna pass on GCC to be participating, and we're gonna work on the nursing workforce center. The only way to address this workforce issue is to have a collaborative approach, innovative approach. So during that time when I was in Washington, D.C., is one of the things that we lobby in the Congress is the National Nursing Workforce Center Act, where we talk about funding, we talk about sharing data, and how can we work together with the support of the Congress and the Senate and the federal government, of course, and really address this issue. So GCC, we are in a better position. We have done it. We do have a good LPN program, and I'm very proud to say that we're getting a good passing rates for our LPN program, but we can expand it more. So I'm going to be sharing with you actually with the board what is the National Forum of State Nursing Workforce Centers. This is something that we wanted to implement in Guam. There's about 24 states that's already adopted this, and Guam, we can do this. And Guam has a unique issue because of our geographic locations, immigration issue. So collaborative, working together for both the private and government and both institutions, and I think we were able to work together to address this. And I look at GCC to be to be part of making this happen. So that's in the report. And then on the other side, as I mentioned earlier, we're very active with the American Red Cross, and I really invoke everybody's help and the support. And we're down now to our last sheltering, and we're trying to close it by August 11. So that's probably how FEMA also is gonna start closing down the utilization of the facility, because we work collaboratively. So I thank you so much. Okay, so I'm gonna be sharing with, is that something we're trying to develop here in Guam?
So for me, I was able to attend the groundbreaking ceremony yesterday for the new culinary program, home. And honestly, it's very exciting, and to hear from the Lieutenant Governor about the anticipated growth and how they plan to utilize our program, our students, our faculty to help support some of the bigger picture on what's on the administration's agenda in terms of possibly becoming the dietary planning facility for the new hospital, right? Just different things like that. It's great to hear that they're looking at GCC as the feeder to be able to support all these new initiatives. And with our staff, our admin, our faculty, including our students, they're going to be the forefront of it all, right? So it's exciting, and a lot of this isn't going to happen unless, if we're not doing any groundbreakings, this isn't coming to fruition, right? So with the resources that we're able to provide our students and the campus, these are all tools and resources that are going to help to fuel the success of our students as well as our programs, right? So kudos to all of you, kudos to your team. And again, as Mary mentioned, or Dr. Okada mentioned earlier, during the President's report, the fact that we were able to stand up as a FEMA disaster center immediately thereafter, how many applications or applicants would you say that we serviced out of this facility?
I want to say maybe about 4,000, maybe upwards. John De La Rosa actually was our point of contact. I want to say he kind of lived with FEMA for a long time during that process, and he's been very supportive of all their efforts. But they maintain a weekly schedule and weekly information that has been provided. I can get that information to you because it is broken down by center, and at one point we were doing 200-300 a day. And so it's continued. At one point, John was a little concerned when Dedido opened up because we were starting to compete with Dedido, and he's like, we need to ramp up here. So, and they were trying to bring folks here because the wait time here was non-existent, even though Dedido had several hours of waiting. And so they were trying to get folks to come, to the campus because the wait time here and the process here was just so smooth. Plus, it's air conditioned, and it was, just a little bit more inviting. So John was monitoring that. I'll get the data for you as of July 12th. It is available on the website. He has been keeping track of it.
That's awesome.
We do have a daily briefing.
Great. And then just to reiterate what Trustee Greeno mentioned earlier, again, kudos to our team here at GCC for post-Maywar activities and bringing the campus back up to snuff. And again, it's evidenced by the ability to host the FEMA Disaster Center shortly thereafter. But when you walk on campus, it's immaculate, right? And so again, thank you guys. As we prepare for the next school year, this is going to be, a bright light for our students to come back and escape some of the hardships encountered after May War. And hopefully GCC will be there to help support, right? Any other comments? Okay. Moving on to unfinished business.
Okay, construction project updates. What is not on here is our generator housing for building 2000, but we on that project are at 50%. So having that generator eventually completed would help with any disaster recovery, which is one of the main reasons why we had moved all of the administrative services down to building C and D right after the typhoon. So that would be a welcomed addition to our continuity of operations project. Forensic lab, we did request for the conditional occupancy for the GCC side of the building, primarily because it's done. There are some pending issues on the forensic lab side, but we are working on those now. And so there's just a couple of equipment that needs to be awarded, and then we still need to get the IT component in so they can monitor the digital controls for the air conditioning system and the like. And so we will be working with GPD now to finalize that so we can get full occupancy for that building. Building 300, goodness, it's coming close. We are now completed the fire department review. It is now pending the inspection, final two for EPA and DPW. So that component is almost there. We're hoping it's going to be done before the academic year starts because we really need the facility now that culinary has been taken down. No new updates on the Wellness Center. I might be able to have something for you in the next couple of months. Building B is at 45% complete, and looks like they're doing some concrete curing, installing the scaffolding, rebar inspections, and stone formation of the walls. And so that's moving along for Building B. Workforce Development Center, so all the questions raised by EDA has been submitted to Kiteworks, which is their electronic filing component, and so we're just now pending final approval for us to go out to bid. So that should also be coming along pretty quickly. Student Center canopy is now complete, just pending the occupancy. I believe we have a pegged in ribbon cutting for that second week of August. We just confirmed that this morning, so that'll be sent out to the board. And then, of course, Culinary Arts and Baking Center has been awarded. Groundbreaking occurred yesterday, and so we are now working to temporarily move Culinary Arts to another location, and so that is ongoing as well. So that's where we are in terms of construction projects. Accreditation updates, I apologize. I thought it was part of my report, but we'll leave it as part of my report and continue that as well.
Moving on to new business. As part of new business, we're going to review the Board of Trustees Policy 208, the update that was reviewed and changes made.
So policy 208 is the authorized signatories for all bank transactions. And so in this update, there is one request to add an account called Maxi Special into the First Hawaiian Bank. And that really is going to help maximize the return for interest. So it's a different, because the general fund has a little bit of interest earned on, the federal fund has no interest earned. And so in order to maximize some of the cash flow that is going through the account, it was recommended instead of putting funding into long-term TCDs, that we process it through what they call a Maxi Special account. And so it has a better rate than for the funding just to sit in a regular checking account. That's all.
And the fees?
It will, yes, it will be taken out of the interest earned on the account. Yeah. So this is just another opportunity for us to increase some
Diversify your.
potential revenue.
Yeah.
So I'd like to make a motion to update policy 208.
I can second the motion.
Oh, sorry. Let's do that all over again. Can I get a motion to approve the updating the GCC Board of Trustees Policy 208 as presented, and for the college to establish a Maxi Special bank account?
Super.
I second.
So moved.
Okay.
Next issue is Western Witchy and
Yeah, okay, so the Western Interstate Commission for Higher Education, known as WICHE, Professional Student Exchange Program, PSEP. So this was legislation that was introduced called the BIDATA Act. And basically was a public law that Senator Munya Barnes that created the Guam Community College as the facilitator for this program. And basically what this program does is allows for the college to provide scholarship opportunities for individuals that are on Guam to participate in healthcare fields, for the college to solicit funding to support the tuition for these programs. There's 10 areas. And it also requires the individual, for the college to set up the program, the scholarship program, and to work with WICHE. The organization reviews all the applications and selects individuals that will be funded through a tuition, like a discounting program for tuition from participating entities. And so basically it's like a scholarship. We have the scholarship office here. We go provide for the program. The students go off, the students selected go off to obtain their advanced degrees, and then they come back to Guam in terms of service. And if not, then it requires the student to repay. So the college identified 5 areas of the 10 that we would like to pursue as part of the initial or the pilot for the PSEP program. And they are in allopathic medicine, which is MD, occupational therapy, osteopathic medicine, pharmacy, and physical therapy. So those are the 5 areas that we received a lot of interest from the healthcare professionals. And so this resolution allows us to establish the priority areas in alignment with the BIDATA Act, and allows the institution to go out and to seek funding for that tuition. So we pay the tuition dollars for each participant up front. So once this is approved, the college will roll out the scholarship program. Students will be selected for the next academic year. So we do it a year in advance because of the administrative processing and the review. And so this allows us to launch the PSEP program at GCC and allows the college to seek the funding to support the program. So there's many ways for us to do it, either through the QCs, through private donations, and possibly through some legislative appropriations as well.
But are they giving us an approbation for us administering this program?
Yeah, so we have received, and in the financial report, the $78,500 was for us to administer the program. And so that is currently housed under financial aid. Once the program launches, it will become part of development and alumni under the Office of Communications and Promotions, because they do the fundraising piece. And so it'll be moved October 1st of 2023.
So approve this resolution 11-2020.
ACCT.
So, Bertha submitted some information regarding the ACCT Leadership Congress that is currently slated to begin October 9th through the 12th in Las Vegas. ACCT has several leadership congresses. This is one of them. They have one during the summer, and they also have one in early spring, which is usually in Washington, D.C. And so this is presented to the board for consideration if they want to attend this. In addition, there is something also sponsored by ACCT, and I think it's noted here as ACCT board travel. But there is an alternative to this, which is, and let me just pull it up because I sent it to the chairman. Which is advocacy aid. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a different organization. So I will drop that. There is a different organization that is providing, no, I think it's a different organization that is providing additional advocacy training in Washington, D.C., but at a different date. I think it's in September.
When is that in September?
18 and 19.
September 18 and 19?
Yeah. And so basically what's on the table in terms of that is workforce Pell Grants,
Okay.
fiscal year 24 appropriations, Workforce Investment Opportunity Act, and apprenticeship legislation, and the Farm Bill. And the Farm Bill is the one that has the specific funding to support Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, serving institutions as an MSI. And the Farm Bill right now, the entity that they're trying to get on board with the NMPC funding is USDA. And so that is a separate one that is on September 18 and 19.
That's a national event.
It's through AAC3, through GCON, which is also partnered with ACCT. So,
And that's in DC.
it's, that one's in DC as well. So, I guess if the board wishes to consider either one, you can pass a motion to approve both pending interest of the board, just so that it can be, yeah,
For consideration.
yeah, considered.
Can we get a motion to allow for both the September and October conferences to be presented and for consideration for the board members to attend?
A second. Just specific to ACCT, I'm really interested. We did a presentation, great presentation the last time we were there. You guys did an awesome presentation. Just for the benefit of everybody, there are a lot, especially our cohort program, and based on the networking and the discussion they have some other small colleges that we would like to follow our program. So it's really interesting to go back into that platform or to that conference to last year to really know how many of them already follow or use the information that we shared with them.
Did we submit any presentations prior to the,
Not for these,
not for
Not
this?
for this.
Okay,
not for this one.
got it. Okay, moving on to the president's travel request.
So there's two that are coming up, one in August, to Saipan CNMI, as a, I guess, faculty of the Executive Leadership Development Program. The last one I went to was in Copenhagen, and, that was in March. And so this is the final, Saipan, not
Saipan.
necessarily NMC. But this is funded through Executive Leadership Program, which is funded by Department of Interior. That's from August 15 to the 18th. And then PBEC right now is scheduled to be in the Majuro, September 5th and 6th.
I move to approve the board, the president's travel. Can I get a motion, please?
I move.
Second.
Okay. Okay, then,
Motion to go to executive session?
President's report.
I move to approve the president's report as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Any announcements?
There's a new scholarship for the Korean one. There's a Korean scholarship for me. Yeah, that's already posted on the GCC website. It's 30 students, and it's from 8th grade to college, and it's like 1,000.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Also, I have a question. Since student orientation is opening up, or it's currently scheduled for August 14th, do we know where is it going to be held?
We're working on it. Hoping the PTA will be done by then. We're working on it.
Thank you. Enjoy your liberation. It's gonna be a liberation tomorrow. Stay at home. Stay home. Liberation.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn our meeting?
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Meeting adjourned at 1:45 p.m. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.